Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I am creating a fall inspired matte look. It's based off of this palette that I just got from Juvia's place. This is the Warrior 2 palette and it's all matte. So I thought instead of doing a review in just one look using this palette, I want to do a full face and inspired by fall. So not as glowy here. I tried to keep things just a little bit more on the matte side. The eye is all matte, but just, again, not as glowy. I will give you guys my thoughts and swatches on the palette at the end. But first, if you want to see how I created this entire look, just keep watching. So I started off the look with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation, and I used the shade Y245. This, during the fall, lasts longer on me than it does in the summer. So I wanted something that wasn't too matte, but also not too dewy, and this was the perfect foundation for the job. And I used a Sonia Kashuk sponge, as always. For concealer, I went in with my Magic Away liquid concealer from Charlotte Tilbury, and I am in the shade number 4. This is so nice and hydrating, but again, not too luminous, so it really went with the look. And then I took a smaller Sonia Kashuk sponge to blend that out, and then I went ahead and baked with my Huda Beauty Pound Cake Easy Bake baking powder. I used this underneath my eyes, I used it on my chin, and I also used it on my nose. Usually I leave it on for about 5 minutes while I'm going in with my other powder to set. And the powder I used today is the La Mer Pressed, and I used my La Mer brush to press this into the skin, and I used a lesser amount on my forehead because I just don't like too much powder on my forehead. For bronzer, I went in with something a little bit more on the cool tone side. So I used the Balm Take Home the Bronze Anti-Orange Bronzer in the shade Oliver. I love this bronzer because it's not too cool, it's not too warm, it's just absolutely perfect, but it definitely does lean on the cooler side. I am more fair now, so if you are a fair girl, get your hands on this, especially for the winter time. And the brush that I used to apply that was the Zoeva 126. For my nose, I'm not going to use my bronzer. I'm going to go in with my By Terry Compact Expert Dual Powder in number 4 Beige Nude and my Tom Ford number 11 brush. And I just put this on both sides of my nose. And then I take my Linda Hallberg 304 and I take the center shade to highlight the nose without it being something beaming. For blush, I'm using Evening Beige from Chanel on a MAC 129. I haven't used this in a while, but I think it is perfect for the fall because it has that bronziness to it that I just think looks so nice during the fall months. And then for highlighter, I didn't want anything too luminous. I wanted something that's going to brighten up the area, but not make it super shiny and blingy. So I went in with the Ambient Strobe Lighting Powder and Brilliant Strobe Light from Hourglass. This is not to be confused with the Metallic Strobe Light because those are metallic, it's in the name, and this one is much, much softer. And I used my Linda Hallberg 306. And then as always, my look is never complete without buffing. So I'm going with my Sisley 01 Irisee Loose Powder and my Sonia Kashuk Large Powder Brush. And I am buffing before we go into the eyes with the Warrior palette from Juvia's place. Starting off with the eyes, I'm taking the second shade in the last row, this light gray shade, and I'm taking a MAC 239 and I am packing it all over the lid. Then I also want to put this into the crease, so I'm taking a Goss number 18 in that same shade and I'm working it into the crease as my transition shade. I'm bringing it pretty high up, but not as opaque as it is on the lid. Same shade, now with a MAC 221, and I'm working that shade right on the lower lash line. Now with a Zoeva 227, I'm taking that beautiful coral peach shade and I am placing this on the outer corner and smoking it out. But I'm not taking it into the front crease. I'm basically just kind of bringing it upward so that you can see it on the outer edges. I'm having to build this up a little bit, but no issues. It builds up perfectly fine. On a gloss number 17, I'm taking that deepened reddish shade on the outer corner. Again, I'm kind of smoking it out, but I'm not covering up the last shade that we did, that peachy coral shade. And I'm just deepening up that area and just making it a little bit more smoky. Top row lash shade on a MAC 221. I am going to, again, we're just layering here, taking that shade on the outer V, placing it first on the outer corner, and then I am taking it into halfway into the crease and just, again, slightly smoking it out in like little circular and back and forth motions, but I do not want to cover up the reddish shade all the way. I'm taking the black shade and I'm only taking this on the outer corner. I'm not taking this into the crease or anything else. And I'm using a MAC 221 and I am just tapping this into place. To finish off with the shadows, I'm taking the white shade on a MAC 242. I'm going to highlight the brow arch, and then I'm also going to take a little bit of this and highlight the inner corner of the eye. Now moving back down to the lower lash line, I'm taking MAC Costa Riche liner, and I am just kind of messily putting this right up against the lash line. Don't let this dry. Go in right away with your preferred blending pencil brush, but I am using the 219 from MAC and I am smudging this out. I'm also going to take Costa Riche to the inner rim up top, just because I don't want to use black. I want it to be a little softer with that reddened brown. Again, reddish browns go really great with fall looks. And then lastly, before I do my inner rim down below, I'm going to take a MAC 221 in that light gray shade one more time, and I'm going to blend out the edges of Costa Riche. And then for the inner rim, I'm taking the Milk Makeup Long Wear Gel Liner in the nude shade BCC, and I'm taking that on my inner rim to brighten it up. And that finishes off the look with just some mascara. And then lastly, for the lips, I took MAC Strip Down and I lined my lips and then filled them in. And to top that off, I took one of my current favorites, which is from Tom Ford in La Nude. It is the Satin Matte formula, and I just put that right over top. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Warrior 2 palette. Artwork stunning. They always do such a good job with the artwork. I think it's so beautiful. And the colors in here I think are stunning as well. I'm really liking to see the warm and cool tones combined, kind of like the last ColourPop one I did. And that's what I based this eye look off of. I wanted to see if I was able to create more of what I was going for with the one that got messed up with the ColourPop and Karuchi palette. And I definitely was able to achieve it. Let me go ahead and show you guys the swatches of this. I am not going to dare try to say these names because I will butcher them and I will feel bad. So here are the swatches. Now I have to tell you that these were built up. Like if you just swatch one swatch with these, I was a little bit concerned about how they were going to perform. I didn't think that I was going to be able to get a lot of pigment on my eyes based off of just the swatches alone. Now, I did find that I had to build these up, but I'm okay with that. That's not a problem for me, especially seeing as I didn't have that issue with the shadows coming off. So sometimes, you know, shadows are too soft, they just end up coming straight off your eyes. I feel like I have been trying to achieve this kind of look with a gray and a red shade for a while now, and it's just not going over well. So I'm happy to see that I was able to achieve it, but just know that you will have to build these up. The black is very black. I didn't have to build that up at all. It's black. And definitely the gray. This shade down here, I don't think are going to work on deeper skin tones, but for me, this is like one of my favorite shades like I've ever seen, like just in general. When I first was doing the look, and I just had this all over the lid, in the crease, and underneath the eyelash line, I could have been done there. Like, add mascara and walk out the door, because this is the perfect blend of neutral and cool tone. Like, it is stunning, and I really like this coral shade. So for me, as long as you're okay with having to build it up, I think it is a great palette. 20 bucks, you really can't go wrong. But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this fall and Juvia's Place Warrior 2 inspired look. Let me know if you did in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.